In my previous video, I showed you the gray edition of the ModRetro Chromatic. Today I'll show you this Inferno color, but I want to talk about these games more than anything else. I think that this console, the Chromatic, actually has some staying power. It can carve out a space in the market because what it's doing is it's expanding the market by doing a really thoughtful throwback to the Game Boy era. So not only do you get this amazing piece of hardware that I detailed in my last video, and there's some really good videos out there that spend more time comparing this to other handhelds and giving you more of an objective take. Russ from Retro Game Core, great place to start. But also, you have now a library to choose from. So if you go to the modretro.com website, you'll see these 4 games as well as several others, and there's more coming as well that have not been released yet. These games, they justify the purchase if you ask me, because for $200 you get Tetris, which is killer. It's a great version of Tetris. You get an amazing piece of hardware that feels substantial, right? It's hefty, it's smooth, although it's metal, and it just feels like a $200 product. So I have no regrets over buying one. I have the gray one on the other desk that I showed in my last video, the GameStop exclusive. And I'd love to be able to pick up the green one and the blue one and all the other colors too if I could, but those are now hard to get. But you can still get the gray one. So when you pick it up, you feel like the weight of your nostalgia in your hands, but then to expand it and actually have the thoughtfulness to create a new library of games as well as re-releasing some classics, that's the game changer. That's what makes the whole Chromatic thing different. And I wish them all the best of luck in the world because I think that we need more of this. It's great that you can just buy a console, pop in your old carts, and you're good to go. That is awesome, and they gave you the best experience to do that right now. So hats off to them. But they didn't stop there. They really wanted to recreate that experience. They have new games coming, some are exclusive, and then on top of that, they've got this uniform box art design, and this is important to me, but it's a hard thing to explain. I miss those days. I have so many fond memories of walking into Toys R Us as a kid with my Game Boy, and my only source was, okay, what's the box art? Do I make a decision? Like, do I ask mom and dad to buy this for me? Do I beg for it? Do I promise to do the dishes for a week, or whatever my negotiation tactic was? Is it worth it just based on the box art and the little summary on the back? But I gotta tell you, I was too lazy to read those summaries. I was all about the box art and looking at the pictures and going, is that something I want? Like, dude, the fact that this kid is carrying a sword, I'm in. I'm buying this game. I miss those days. And like, I guess you could do that now, but you know what I do before I walk into a Best Buy and buy a game? I read about it on the internet or I watch some videos. It's just too easy now to get information. And you can do that with this. There's videos about these games out there, but if you could walk into a Best Buy now and actually pick up the Chromatic and feel it, you're gonna get sold on the hardware if you've got the cash to spare, right? This is my hobby, so I've got the cash to spare for these kind of things. No regrets. I pick this thing up, I'm like, damn, dude, I want one of these. This thing is awesome. I wish I can choose the color I want. By the way, there are a number of colors that were released in the first edition, but the only one available right now is the GameStop exclusive, which is still cool. I bought one for my son the other day too. But anyway, like that's part one. But then if I can look across the aisle and I see a bunch of games, total game changer. Like that to me is it's a big part of the retro nostalgia, the memories that I have. And no other console has done this, right? There are a bunch of really good handhelds out there. This often gets compared to other FPGA handhelds, but they don't have a library that's exclusive. That's the move. And like I said, the uniformity, the box art, the design, that's awesome. I love that they did this. I don't think the device would have staying power unless they had done this. So great decision on their part. There's a bunch of these re-release classics, by the way. Like if you remember playing Baby T-Rex, bang, there it is. Toki Tori, bang, right? And there are more coming. I'm very excited about that. Wish them all the luck in the world. What I'm gonna be doing over the next several months is becoming, I guess, a little bit more thoughtful about my coverage of this device. So you'll see more videos come out where I show you the games. The device has been covered pretty well. I covered it in my last video in more detail, but also there's Russ's video and some others. So go out there if you're curious about this and read up on it. And I would say, even if you have a catalog of carts like I do, I think I have 20 or so Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, and you want to play them with the best possible experience, you can buy this, get your copy of Tetris and be super happy. but I would look at their games too. Go to modretro.com and check these out. Here is an example. This is a shoot 'em up. Here's a turn-based RPG. Here's an action side scroller. This is an action side scroller. And every game has a summary on the back that tells you what's going on, what the story is, and then some of the features of the game. Man, I'm so excited to play these. And so yeah, anyway, I'll cover these on the YouTube, and then I'll do some written articles as well on the gww.com. So keep your eyes open for that. If there's anything specific you want me to cover, please let me know. And look, I said that we've already covered the handheld too, but if you want more of a tour of this, just let me know. I'm happy to do it because every time I pick this up, I just get excited. I think it's awesome. All right, cool. Thanks everybody. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.